and the results have really flowed through quite well. And, to the point of some weeks I'd be making, more than what I was earning in my previous job, a job where I'd spent 26 years and I'd really worked myself up since, joining when I was a kid, sort of only a couple of years out of school, up into my, late 40s.
Before we start, we need to tell you up front we are not a licensed financial planning, accounting or law firm. This is simply an education program which will give you factual information. We do not give any general or specific advice around finance, business, investing, options trading or anything else. That is not what this presentation does. Please see a licensed financial planner when it comes to any investment advice you need.
Today, I've invited Rob to join us. Now, we can only call him Rob. Rob, due to his previous work, can't come on camera into the public space, but he's agreed to very kindly today to talk to us. So, Rob, thanks so much for making this opportunity available to us. So, Rob, when you came to us, you were facing some interesting sort of life situations. Tell us a little bit about what you're able to tell us, and why you decided to dive in and do the stock options trading course.
Yeah, sure, Derek. Look, it was at a time, almost a couple of years ago now, where the world was definitely a different place, and certain people were making decisions on in their own interests and not in the interests of public freedoms and the people's ability to retain their own bodily integrity. So, I come to a point where I chose what I believed was right and decided that it definitely wasn't going along with what other people were deciding for me.
This course throws you in the deep end, and we attack things from different angles, and we look at the mindset that you're going through. We teach you, of course, the theory of stock options trading, the juicy stuff that everybody wants to know about. Just give me the strategy, and then we show you how to run it like a business, and then there's the practical side of putting those on in a simulated environment. What was the one thing that you got out of the course that was a real standout for you?
Look, yeah, like you said, it was you were itching at the teeth to try and get straight into it and start putting down practice trades and earning money. But I think at the very beginning, when you stress the importance of having a reason for being in this world and doing everything you do in life for that one particular reason, whether it's for the good of other people or for your own family or whatever. And you apply that purpose to, everything you do in life. So a new trade that you pick up, you look at yourself and you think, well, I'm doing this to the best of my ability because I want to achieve this, further down the track. And I think that was probably the big standout from the beginning. I expected to sort of go in there and hit the ground running and learn all these different strategies and, how to make quick money, that sort of thing straight up. But, it was good to have all of that put into perspective from the get-go.
Really interesting watching your journey is, of course, you decided to go live in your trading. And it's been interesting watching you get some really good initial success on the paper trades and on the simulated environment, and then going live and getting some early success. And then you hit a bit of a slump, which is very typical of trading and when people go into the deep end. Take us through that.
Right, yeah. So I was obviously very enthusiastic at the beginning, and I was straight into the paper trades. And I think I remember we spoke about it at the start. I think it was a big case of beginner's luck for me. I think I was in it at the time when US markets were really nosediving, so there was a lot of volatility, and there was some easy opportunities to make some quick, virtual money, and that built up my confidence, which got me to the point where I said, right, I'm going to put on some real money, and that followed. But then, obviously things changed, the markets changed. And I think what happened was, I probably got a bit too overconfident at the start and was just lucky enough to, pick those trades that were quite volatile. So it was quite easy. And then when things settled down and I guess leveled out a bit, it became a lot more difficult to make money. So I sort of hit a few snags, and which was good because it really made me learn a lot about what I was doing and how to, I guess you say, how to change my tactics to make it work better.
Yeah, for sure. And it was interesting to see just the small tweaks that you made that made all the difference in the world and got you back on track to now the point where you were actually pretty much making what you used to earn in your old job. Take us through that.
Right. Yeah. So changed my strategy to, it's important to know what the market's doing and base your strategy around that. And I think, what I've done recently, in the last pretty much since the start of this year is to, do make those minor adjustments and, things like contract lengths and picking particular types of stocks. And the results have really flowed through quite well. And, to the point of some weeks I'd be making, more than what I was earning in my previous job, a job where I'd spent 26 years and I'd really worked myself up since, joining when I was a kid, sort of only a couple of years out of school, up into my, late 40s. So, it's been definitely been a challenging 12 months. Well, it's almost 12 months after the course, but I've learned that much that I feel really confident now. And I think, obviously I need to improve I've only experienced 12 months and I'm sure you've experienced, 20 years of this, Derek, to know, how different markets can be, how much they can change and how you need to change your strategies, and be pretty flexible in what you do. So I think I feel confident now after the last 2 months that have gone by that with keeping an eye on the ball and making those changes based on the market conditions, I'm pretty confident that I can only scale up from here and give it another 12 months. I should be buying some pretty expensive champagne.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What I like about what you've said there, Rob, and you didn't give up. I find that's one of the biggest things in anything in life. People often give up just before their breakthrough, whether it be in something they're learning, their job, their career, or just something in life. And what you've done is just persisted and gone, okay, this isn't working. What I got to do to go back. So credit to you for sticking at it.
Yeah, thanks, Derek. It was a case of, give it all you got, otherwise we'll be going back to something else I don't particularly want to do. And, I was at that point there only a couple of months ago where I was starting to take on additional, labor type jobs, in construction or, just cleaning and garden maintenance, lawn mowing, that sort of stuff, just to keep my head above water because, I've still got a mortgage, got a young child, so I've still got a lot of responsibilities to go.
The bills don't stop, but it's great that you've been able to work through that. And it's very common for anybody who's starting a business and that they have to have a bit of a part-time job, casual job, just to keep that cash to pay the bills when you can see what the bigger picture is about to do. So great credit to you, man, for being that flexible as well. So who is this course for? Who would you say this is an ideal thing for someone who might be interested in markets? Because you had no experience beforehand, did you?
Oh, look, I've had quite a bit of experience just on the stock market itself. Only the ASX. I've never really dealt with international stocks. Only thing I ever knew about options is when a workmate of mine back about 20 years ago made a whole bunch of money off options. And I was curious about it then, but I was too young and naive to really get involved at that point in time. But 5 years later, the guy was completely bankrupt. So I don't know what happened, but that's all I knew about options up until I did the course. But yeah, other than that, it was all about stocks for me.
Trading's all about risk management, which I'm sure you can testify to, and managing that now. That's something that is taught in our courses. There's always one thing that's drummed in. It's all about risk management. We know what the upside could be. It's the downside you got to keep your eye on. The whole emphasis in the course too is about your life purpose. So I've got to ask, Rob, have you gone through that purpose? What do you see? How do you define what your life purpose is now?
Oh, look, I think it's an evolving beast, Derek. I think, I've always wanted to help out the less fortunate. And I think, there's a lot of that going on in our country, especially around, an area which I really love, and that's the mid-north coast of New South Wales. So, I think at this point in time, aside from, giving my daughter the best opportunities that she can have in life, taking that a step further will definitely be about helping the less fortunate, just through basic life skills and giving them opportunities in life that they would otherwise never see. That's, to me, that's a big thing. My brother does something similar with, young Aborigine kids out around in the Central Tablelands areas. And, you see some of these kids and you see the backgrounds that they're from and the conditions that they live in, you see how they become after my brother's been with them for, 6 months, and they're completely different kids. They've got a great outlook on life, and, that comes back to you tenfold. I think if you can change someone's life for the better like that, that's, it's going to pay dividends for the rest of your life, not just for you, but for, your community, the country, a lot more than that.
So good. I mean, so many people think it's about, sitting back and, yes, enjoying the perks of nice champagne or that sort of stuff, or having the biggest car and that sort of stuff. And the toys are fun, but at the same time, it's not what gives us so much meaning as to what you've just described there, Rob. So, yeah, appreciate that and how you can see the bigger picture.
Yeah, no worries, Derek.
So, all right, guys, you've seen that. And I can tell you now, Rob is a giver too, because I've watched his leadership in a class called Alumni Plus, and he's very generous with a spreadsheet that he's helped those who are up and coming, who've gone through the process he has in a 12-month course. And Rob's experience really shines through. So he's become a bit of a leader in those ranks, in my opinion. So, Rob, I want to thank you for your generosity. Thank you so much for your persistence. I learned from working with guys like yourself and observing what you do. And can't wait to work with you even further.
Yeah, no worries, Derek. And thank you. I've got to thank you for, all your generosity as well over the last, 12 months almost. Just not only from what you provided in the course, it's that time you give after hours as well. Being able to call you pretty much any time of the day. And, just when I got those curly questions, if I'm stuck in a rut, I just don't understand something. It's always, good to have you back, when it can find a way out of a sort of a bit of a hole that you've sort of fallen into.
Pleasure, man. It's been awesome. Love working with you. All right, guys. So if you'd like to find out more about this, you simply go to our website, blueskyfactory.com.au. If you want to book in for a free 15-minute consult with me, you can. Just go through the links there on our website and be happy to chat to you. Just make sure you let us know what state you're in so we can line up the time differences. Hey, it's been awesome. Whatever you do, trading, whatever business you end up in or investing, make sure you live your life purpose.